Tom's Tech Show. Today we're talking about some photography, and I went to one of my favorite places to shoot, which is the Ventura Pier. Hey, this is Tom from Tom's Tech Show. I was able to go the other day over to Ventura Pier, one of my favorite places to take photos. I've got a little camera here. It's not an expensive camera. This is the APS-C, Canon T4i. Has the little flippy screen. Makes it nice to take pictures. I did wait when they were bringing this out to get the 18 to 135 lens. So yeah, that's what I use. Simple, straightforward. Anybody can buy. I think they're on T6i or something now. Yeah, so I took some pictures. I have one here I'm going to work on. I'm going to import it really quick. Here we go. So out at the pier, it's the sunset goes, usually behind the pier, and right now there's a big, the tide was way out, so there's a big area of flat sand that's out there. So when the waves roll out, you get this nice bit of color in the front here of a reflection, and everything makes a pretty nice picture. I've taken quite a few of these. I do some basic things just to get started with the picture. I'm gonna bring the highlights down. That usually just makes everything pop a little bit more. The detail kind of comes back. I want to have the pier be a little bit more lit up. So if I open my shadows up a lot, there isn't much detail in it. You can see a little bit of the wood and stuff in there when I zoom in. This is Lightroom, by the way, that I'm using. I hit the J key, which gives me my peaks, and I usually open up my whites until I just start to see something. Okay, I'm going to back off a little bit. So once I see a little bit of peaking, then the blacks I probably won't have to go down very much. But that kind of makes it look like that. I really want to do something. Well, first let's go down. I always have to do this. Remove chromatic aberrations and enable profile corrections, so you can see the image when I do the profile corrections. It goes from this then to like a little more flatter look, and takes some of the vignetting out of the corners and stuff, because it knows I have a Canon. It knows I have the 18 to 135 lens, all that stuff in Lightroom. Typically, this camera's kind of noisy, so typically I will just kick about 40 to 50 noise reduction on. That's about as good as I'm going to get with this camera. I do want to make kind of the blue here shine a little bit more, a little bit bluer. So I'm going to bring down just a little gradient here and just kind of set it right on there. It's on exposure right now, but I'm just going to bring the temperature down just a little bit, and that's going to give me a little more blue in the sky back behind there. And sometimes what I do, the pier has these little lamps that are here. Sometimes I will take, and I'm just going to take a little adjustment brush here, and we're going to go and just put a little bit of, make my sliders a little bit here, so I have heavy feather, small size. I'm just going to add just a little bit of lightening, so it's just a little bit lighter right around the light there. Okay, so when I'm done with that, and it kind of makes the light kind of stand out a little bit when I do that. I kind of like that little extra glow underneath the light, like it's actually glowing underneath there. I'll do the ones that are lit up, a couple of them here. Once they get a little further away, then it kind of doesn't make any more sense to do that. Let's go down to this fourth one. I think will be the last one here. Just put a little bit of light on there. Okay. So now we've made the sky a little bit bluer. We've brought up some of the color. Definitely want to do the little fancy clarity slider, which really brings some detail out in the clouds. Often I want to add just a tiny bit of saturation. Okay, so now that's looking pretty good. That's kind of how I felt, right? That's what I'm trying to do, is get to kind of how I felt during the time I was taking the picture. And that's kind of how it's feeling, you know, like when you're there and the ocean is going and you see this, you know, this big mirror of the sunset and everything in the sand down there. So if we hit the original key so we can see what it looked like before. So that's what it looked like before, and then that's what it looks like now. So that's, you know, looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So it's just pretty easy. Just a few quick simple sliders inside Lightroom, and you can really give a good adjustment and bring all the color out in images. This isn't even HDR. I'm just taking the raw image from the camera and just applied a few adjustments. I mean, you can do, you know, a full HDR, try and bring some of the pier out and the woodwork and everything in the pier, but I don't really want to do that right now. But this is pretty much where I wanted to end up. So that's something pretty easy you can do in Lightroom. Couple of adjustments, couple of maybe a little gradient here and there, but you can really make an image just pop. And then from there you can go straight to social media or your image portfolio, wherever you want to put it. All right. So thanks for watching. This has been Tom's Tech Show, and God bless.